Hello, hastily made hamburgers 10 minutes before you start recording. Welcome to Generation Dan, a weekly podcast about Gen X, Y, and Z arguing and talking about various topics. I am Atlas Novak. Who else is with me today?
I'm Dino, the genetic marvel.
I'm Mcduff, the Generation Z representative. Yes.
Yeah. So Caleb is filling in for Nick this week, but our guest, he is a poker TV commentator and good comic friend of mine. Welcome, Joe Stapleton, everybody.
Oh wow! Thanks so much for having me, guys. Comedians never asked me to do their podcast, so this is a real treat for me.
You've come on my old podcast before. I
don't think so, unless I did and I don't remember it, and then that's really bad.
Bad reading? Does that ring a bell?
No, I mean, I remember you asked me to do it, but I don't think I did it. I think you asked me to do Big Trouble in Little China or something, and I was like, yeah, I'm in, let me know. And then, it was a pandemic, so people had bigger fish to fry, as they say.
That's fair.
I just Googled you and I saw a Reddit thread. Joe Stapleton is a horrible poker commentator. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And that's how you start a show, right?
Okay. Look, I'm actually really bad at being heckled. Like, I'm not mad. I'm definitely not mad, but my first instinct is be like, read it and see how many people come to my defense. Instead of just saying something funny about it and leaning into it. I'm just like, no. The answer is a resounding no if you actually click on it. I
have receipts.
I actually don't know because I don't. So one of the things about me is I don't Google myself and I don't read those threads. And it's kind of a superpower. Like, I don't know many people. I don't look up ex-girlfriends. I don't look to see what people are saying about me on the internet. I don't do any of that shit. Nobody believes me. And it just sort of, is my life easier, I think.
Smart, I think.
What are you, some sort of mental health person? Get the fuck out of here.
What do you
Disgusting.
like, self-esteem, you asshole?
Oh, white girl on Twitter, piece of trash. I swear to God.
I would challenge any white girl to look up themselves less frequently than I do.
I do know that somebody on Instagram keeps, from like a foot fetish thing, keeps DMing me being like, what's your shoe size? I'm like, okay. That's stuff that like you find out about yourself that you're like, I don't know if I want to doodle that.
No, you don't need to know any more about it if it doesn't intrigue. Yeah. Even if it does, maybe you're just better off.
Yeah.
I wish someone would reach out to me because I got Flintstone feet. It's like a circle with just lines drawn in it, and I'm like, I would ruin someone's life. Just be like, oh yeah, you want this? Go for it. It's gonna ruin everything.
I think I'd probably oblige them too. I'd be like, look, if this makes this guy nut instantaneously, and all I have to do is send him a picture of my right pinky toe, I mean, why not? Let's put some joy out there.
You can make someone come with a pinky toe. That's impressive, bro.
I know.
That's also
that is a
right?
Superpower.
Yeah,
that's an efficient foot. That's Yeah.
Apparently, size doesn't matter. Who knew?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. When you said you were a poker commentator, Joe, it kind of piqued my interest a little bit, and then I heard your voice, and I was like, "Oh shit, I know who the fuck this guy is." I've seen like all like the fucking compilations with like Dan Negreanu and shit on YouTube, and your voice is over that shit. Are you kidding me?
So this is the exact level of fame that is perfect for me. Like 1 out of 4 people has kind of heard of me.
Yeah, I've vaguely heard your vocal pipes.
It's like it's just enough that it like feeds my ego, and I feel like I've done something with my life, but not so much that like I can't go anywhere, or that if there's like one person in a place, I can usually be like, "Nice to meet you, pal. Let's do a photo." I'm gonna fuck off, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
So it's not like a thing where, like, have you ever had the opposite come true, where you want to be more famous in that moment because people are like, You're nothing.
Fuck yeah,
like, I'm famous at poker. Man.
So I used to do this all the time, and I would admit it if it didn't work. But when I lived in London, I was on a TV show that would come on like Wednesday or Thursday nights at like midnight, and I would schedule a date always for that night, and then around 11:30 be like, actually, like my show's on in a half hour. Like if you wanna go back to my place and see what it's all about. And
no second dates, just only first dates. That's how that
only
works.
First dates, yeah, absolutely. There weren't a lot of second dates for one reason or another, but yeah, I used to do that, and it would work. And I don't think it would have worked again if I was like more famous, like if I was on EastEnders, and
Oh yeah.
or Game of Thrones, and I was like, oh, Game of Thrones on in 5 minutes. Should we go home and watch it? Like, I think that it worked only because girls were so curious. Like, what is this show now? Is this real? And the first time I ever tried to like throw, like, I was like, the first time I was ever like, I'm gonna try to use a TV thing and pick up on these two girls, and this girl's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm on this TV show. It's like it's on Channel 4, which I think is like. I think that's like kind of a big channel here. Is that a big channel here? Knowing full well it's like their NBC. And she looks me dead in the eye and she goes, "It's on quite late, isn't it?" And I was just like, "Oh fuck! I'm never, ever gonna do that again. Like one and done."
Oh my God.
So I found more
pretty
subtle
savage.
ways to do it.
So that was probably like someone else pulled that on her, and then she's like, you know what, I'm gonna put these guys in their place, like just Stonewall Jackson their ego.
I just definitely went for the person that was going to see right through my bullshit. Of course.
That seems karmically accurate, though, right?
Oh
like,
yeah, no, I
realistically,
deserve.
like,
I just love that. That's so great.
I deserve the fuck out of that.
Are you kidding? I was. My wife was born in the UK, and so we go back whenever we can. Obviously, not now that the entire world has gone mental. But when we would go, we actually she got us tickets to go see QI. So we were in the audience, and at one point there was a guy in the audience who knew somebody, so he did something, but he was sitting right behind me. So when they panned up as he was walking back to his seat, I got on camera. So I got that screenshot, put it on Instagram. I'm like, I'm famous. I've been on TV. You can all go to hell. So, yeah.
So was the point of this to mean that you met another wife because of this?
No.
Oh, I thought we were telling stories about picking up chicks.
Look at me. Do I look like I got game? Are you crazy?
Dude,
I was built for radio or like Oz, like behind a curtain. That's where I should live.
That's why you didn't bury the lead about wife, so I wouldn't hear that at the end and be like, I had like the whole story to digest it and assume that you were telling the truth.
Well, hey, mail order works. What can I say? It's not my fault. It's
Oh my God. I've definitely leaned into the a little bit of fame goes a long way thing. Like my other podcast is in this card game community, so when I go to regionals, I wear the one shirt in existence with my podcast logo on it.
Exactly.
People will stop you. I know what the fuck that is, and I'm like,
look,
yeah, that's
we
right.
God
Stroke
knows
ego.
we get paid nothing for the things we do. Absolutely not. You gotta make your job work for you however you can. Like that's I mean, that's it. If you're not gonna get paid, you at least gotta derive some sort of enjoyment from it. So good. God bless you for doing that, Atlas.
I printed a T-shirt that has my podcast name on it, and people just think I'm infringing copyright. So I've got literally nothing going.
Go ahead, drop it. Drop
what
it.
Is
drop,
it? What,
drop
what's
your
it
plug.
called?
Depresh mode.
Oh right, yeah.
The
People
R,
think
like
off-
yeah,
they're
and
gonna
then
think you ripped
yeah.
off the
So
goal.
it was clever in my head, but then I wear it out in public, and the people just get confused, and then I just go home and be sad about it. So
Well, because they think it's a parody shirt, right?
they think it's like a parody shirt. They're like, "Oh, that's cute, dude. It's like a mental health thing." I'm like, "No, it's my dreams, bro." I guess it's kind of both.
Yeah, go listen to Depression Mode. What are you doing still listening to us? Get over there.
Yeah, get over there to my podcast that has like 2 episodes and 4 views. Come on, people.
Yeah.
But it has a
missing out on
T-shirt.
me.
That's all that matters.
I have a
There's
T-shirt. It's got like block text on it. I made it on custom ink. It costs $35. People, come on.
I've definitely put up signs for Generation Dan, like just around LA, and I have no idea if it's working or not. It probably isn't, but I don't know if I should like get stickers done because I'll put them on like a telephone pole or something, and then come back in a few weeks and they're done because it's paper. But
you guys know I used to have a podcast that was back in we started it around 2006 or 7, and it was back before anyone was making money doing podcasts, and we used to beat Rogan occasionally.
Wow.
And if we had stuck with it, I'd probably be 100 millionaire. But the problem is that we were making no money and we were both becoming sort of successful because of the podcast. And so we both left it not knowing you could make $100 million from a podcast where we used to fucking beat Rogan and Dane Cook.
You guys know that Rogan, one of Rogan's first podcast sponsors was Fleshlights?
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Fleshlight, Adam and Eve.
That's on brand for him, though. That's like, the guy who used to host Fear Factor. I feel like that's good. That's
Yeah, you ever fucked a fleshlight? That feels like an episode in and of itself.
What drives me nuts about the Fleshlight is that in all the marketing for Fleshlights, it's always hot babes using the Fleshlight on a guy. And it's like, your product isn't necessary.
I thought you were going to say hot babes using the fleshlight on themselves, and it's just like, I don't know
Either
how that
way, it
works.
would be
Is
just as stupid. It'd be like, no, show me how it works if I don't have the hot chick. Because if I do, I don't fucking need your Fleshlight, I promise you.
You ever scissor a cylinder, ladies and gentlemen? It's pretty dope.
Actually, because okay, if the point is to try and make it seem glamorous, right? Like girls are gonna fuck you once removed with the flashlight,
right? By proxy.
By proxy, yeah, like the Cold War of sex, basically. But I'm trying to think, how do you market that to lonely guys without it getting too sad? Because you can't be like, hey, I see you, fat fuck. You're not going outside getting chicks. Have this fleshlight. Like, there's no way to do it.
I don't think you need to make it not sad.
Yeah, people who are that is marketed to, their third question for every product they see on TV is, "Can I fuck it?"
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think all you need for the pitch for that is just like, hey, if you ever fucked a sponge inside of a Pringles can, you want to not do that anymore?
Yeah. You want to elevate that experience?
They know what they are. I don't think you need to sugarcoat it. I think you need to be like, hey, dude, you're lonely as fuck. This feels great. Have a tiny bit of joy in your life and wait one more day before tying that noose. Fleshlight.
I feel like that's how you save lives. That's how you save lives.
Right. Just one more day.
This is a mental
health
health
cleaning
podcast.
those things too. You got to push jizz out like it's Go-Gurt. It's not
One
fun,
time,
bro.
I used to work for Mad TV back in the day, and Bobby Lee, we shot something at his house, and part of the deal was that I was going to send a cleaning crew the next day, and he called me in a panic because he left the vagina he fucks in the sink, soaking in a pot of water, and he's like, dude, I don't want the cleaning lady to find it, and I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm sure they found a lot worse.
Yeah,
and
then, that's their job. But also,
that was like a huge tentpole in his act from 15 years ago about how if he ever saw just a floating vagina, he wouldn't try to fuck it, he would try to kill it, because it's just like a disembodied vagina. I mean, hey, look, it's come a long way since then. The fleshlight didn't exist back then.
True. Listen, any port in a storm, right? What are you gonna?
Exactly, quite literally.
Oh my god, And this is supposed to be an episode about holiday stories. Holidays, brought to you by Fleshlight.
The day after holidays, still brought by Fleshlight.
They call it Boxing Day for a reason.
Unboxing and boxing.
I think that hit Dino the hardest because
punching the clown.
Yeah,
that's so horrible.
All right, so this is coming out the week before Xmas. Hanukkah's long over, unfortunately. But do we have any weird holiday traditions growing up? Go.
We had a very so my mom and super Catholic, claims to have been a virgin when she got married, loves Christmas, gets further and further into Christmas every year. So at her peak, we're talking 3 trees in the house.
What?
Yeah, we're talking main family room tree, slightly smaller tree in the living room, and then a small ass tree in the upstairs bedroom overlooking the front yard. We're talking lights outside. We're talking train set. We're talking several miniature mangers.
Nativity
and baby G's eye all over the house.
Baby G's eye.
And there is, she's just balls deep. She makes 30 different kinds of cookies. She starts at Thanksgiving and freezes them so she can do these platters full of different cookies. All right, so she is nuts for Christmas. And our tradition growing up was that. So I don't know if you guys know the story of Christmas. But the gift-giving aspect of it, even if you want to make it a stretch, right, should really revolve around the Feast of the Three Kings, which is the 3 magi who brought the gifts to Jesus. This was actually 12 days after Christmas, after they saw the North Star in the sky, they visited Jesus and brought him gifts. So my mom liked to celebrate all 12 days of Christmas.
Are you fucking? So you got a partridge in a pear tree and 5 golden rings and all that stuff.
So not quite as useless as those gifts, but basically my parents were fucking strict growing up, right? Like they were really strict. I couldn't see R-rated movies till I was 18, but for some reason Christmas they like kind of treated us like real kids. And so we would get like a shit ton of presents on Christmas, and then we would open one stocking stuffer per day every day until the 6th of January. And on the 6th of January, we would get like one last fuck off present, like a pretty good one at the very end. And I remember one year it was Royal Rumble tickets. I went to that classic Royal Rumble in Albany, New York, where it came down to the Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. And Sid Justice interfered at the end. It was sick. It was fucking pandemonium. That was my little Christmas present. So that was our weird tradition growing up. And I just have one good Christmas joke. A bunch of my friends were talking one time about, like, what's the worst thing you could hear inside a present once you shake a present on Christmas morning? And my answer was, your dad's car leaving the driveway.
Hey!
Okay.
I was going to say either that or the squelching of what is unmistakably a fleshlight. It's not a bumblebee, is it? Dino, you're an Archer fan, right?
Yeah, I am. Oh God!
Wait, what year was that? Was that Royal Rumble? Christmas
92, I want to say.
92. Okay, so I wasn't even in balls at that point yet. But
No.
Me neither.
There was...
You and me both. Generations.
Nice. So okay, we
Children.
gotta know. I know. It hurts so bad just being this young, Dino. It hurts.
I can tell by your lack of headboard that you must be in the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I got 2 mattresses stacked on top of each other, and I haven't changed these sheets in 3 months, bro. Let's go.
Man, me too. I don't
we
have a
destroyed
headboard
the economy
either.
for you folks. Yeah.
God damn it.
There's
Lack of
nothing left for
headboard.
the youngins.
That's,
Isn't it hilarious?
God. You know what? Listen, I tried to get away with that, and it lasted literally 10 days, and I was like, go buy a headboard. And I had to get a fancy headboard and everything, and I'm like, this serves no purpose. There's a wall right behind it. She's like,
I was
no.
gonna say, what do those
we're
do?
adults.
I got to tell you, the worst is
Please,
that
wives.
I bought a house in 2020, and we're out shopping for things, and my girlfriend wants a rug for the bedroom, and the minimum amount of money for like a okay rug is like $600. But it's a rug. It's like a 12 by 12 rug. 8 by 8 of it is taken up by my bed. I'm like, why don't we just cut a hole in the rug,
Exactly.
put the
2 rugs.
bed in the little divot there, and then we got another rug? But apparently you can't fucking do that. Apparently you can't do that with women.
You don't want to put the bed on top of the rug? Or
It is on top of the
Just a
rug, but most
waste.
of the rug's being wasted because it's under the bed.
got it.
And
The
if you
way-
ever move the rug,
I'm
none of
paying
it's
for all
gonna
this
match
rug
up.
I'm not even fucking using.
Yeah. Might as well just get wall-to-wall carpet at that point.
Right?
Yeah.
Carpet's the worst.
Yeah, it is.
Carpet's pretty bad.
The worst is wall-to-wall carpet in the bathroom. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's how you get COVID. Okay, that's how COVID comes around. Okay.
There's like an alternate timeline where it didn't come from bats; it came from like a '70s bathroom.
Yeah.
I think
So-
my
Shag
dad used to grow
carpeting.
mushrooms out of his bathroom carpet, bro.
Especially in the bathroom. You definitely have mushrooms under that carpet.
Oh yeah.
100%.
All the shit and the moisture and the
The asbestos is probably keeping the mushrooms at bay.
that's how 1970s. Well done.
Or making them delicious. One of the
Right,
two.
exactly.
One
Or
of the
just
two.
mutant mushrooms.
Yeah.
They're lifting
Eat
the
these,
house.
you see God really fast. Just
One Christmas tradition that my mom does is after my parents got divorced, what she would do is every Christmas the beaches in Los Angeles are empty because they're like, it's Christmas, who's going to the beach? So we take her dogs, let them off leash and just let them run, and then walk up and down with the dogs. And then it's usually pretty fun. Occasionally you'll get stopped by a cop, but most of them are like, it's Christmas, I don't give a fuck. Then
Why would you get stopped by a cop for being on the beach with dogs?
Because you can't have your dogs off the leash.
There you go. Yeah.
Are they
I
big
think
dogs?
This sounds like a cute tradition for you guys, but probably pretty cruel for your dogs, right? They're like, we get to leave. We're free. Oh, shit. No, just one day a year. One day a year, you get to taste freedom and that salt air. Come
Just
on,
a little.
let's go. Come on.
Maybe next year you'll get the distance, but not this year. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. I know the Labrador will he'll run about 50 feet in one direction and then he'll come back and be like, "You still here? Cool." Run off again. The Dachshund, on the other hand, is like, "Fuck this! I'm running it. I'm running forever." But her legs are like this big. So
I was gonna say 10 minutes later, she's like 100 yards away. So
yeah,
you're
you
good.
can take a
You
leisurely
passed her.
stroll,
Yeah.
catch up to her. She's like, "Oh man, it's gonna make a break for it." And,
Didn't have the legs. Didn't have the stride. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
and then at
makes
my
sense.
dad's house, they play charades, and I'm still mad at the time my cousin put the last Mimsy in there.
Ooh.
Fuck you! How am I supposed to do Mimsy?
I went to a hardcore charades games a few weeks ago, and someone,
Hardcore?
yeah, it's like, I don't want to name drop, but like a bunch of like actors and writers in Hollywood, and like they take it super seriously. And someone wrote down Smilla's Sense of Snow.
Oh.
Yeah, a movie from like 2002 or something, or 1995. It's like, I mean, they get cruel with these clues in this particular game.
Because I remember trying to do last, and I was like, this, like it's the last one, and they're like, well, and then
you guys have all the shorthand. It's like movie, book, like you have to start with certain first word, two words, first like it's
Or even worse is like people afterward were like, you could have done it if you like ran. We would have thought fast. I'm like, fuck you. You would have thought fast.
Yeah,
last Mimsy.
That's a Monday morning quarterbacking charade style.
Yeah.
By the way, Atlas, I think the reason they had a problem was because your way of doing last also looked like your abortion sign language as well. So, not sure if that would work.
That was before I even became a comedian. This is like 2008.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely, yeah.
You're so close. You're so close. You start with the baby.
Yeah.
Start with the baby. Take it. And
Throw
throw it away.
Yeah. Dumpster. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's
whichever one.
Realistically, I just feel like charades and hardcore charades at that. You're like, listen, I feel like we need a higher class of shenanigans during the holidays. It seems fairly low. Like for me, we would go like Christmas was nothing. Like I didn't celebrate Christmas when I was growing up. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, so we never did anything like that kind of stuff. And we had money. So if I wanted something, my dad's like, okay, do some chores and we'll buy you whatever you want. So it was great.
Wait. So you didn't get gifts, but you got kind of whatever you wanted just for being a good kid.
Yeah, we had money. It's not like, do work. Like my dad has his own
business.
business.
It's really rare for Jehovah's Witness to be rich, right? Aren't or not
No,
money?
it depends, but
I've never heard of a non-poor person in real life. I've never met a non-poor Jehovah's Witness.
That's implying that Dino isn't real.
No. It's great to me.
That may be true though.
With a different perspective, though, of that particular upbringing.
Yeah, like for us, like we weren't weirdos for as bad. Like a lot of people are just crazy Bible thumpers, right? Where you're just like, no, you're weird. Whereas for my dad, for him, it was more he wanted a relationship with God because that was really forbidden when he was a kid. So that was his, you know what I mean? So it was a different type of relationship we had where it's like understanding, like, no, don't be crazy. Have good morals. Ta-da!
Okay.
Like that was,
right.
So, but later on, like one of the things that I always do now is my wife is a fashion designer. So she liked to go out for Boxing Day. So we would go to a mall really early. And I'm not going to shop for anything because I barely fit in like a yoga or a toga. Forget about wearing normal clothes from a regular mall.
Fleshlight.
Yeah. Well, the large size. It's mostly like a barrel with really big like gym mats in it.
I wrote this joke down at open mic yesterday that I want to try out. Fat people don't have to worry about impulse buying clothes.
100% true. but we might eat you. So it's know your audience. That's the real
sometimes
thing.
I'll walk in a store and I'll be like, man, if this shirt's in my size, I'm in trouble. It's like $400, and luckily it's not. And I'm like, who doesn't have to worry about that most of the time is people who are bigger than me. Yeah.
That's for sure.
Definitely.
Are you kidding me? That's the best part. We're like, aren't you cold? I'm like, I have literally 16 extra layers on me of skin. I don't need. Yeah, it's no problem. But yeah, so we would go, and the best part is I would just walk around the mall Boxing Day morning and just make fun of people who are lining up for clothes that weren't really for sale. And I'm like, and then we would usually have like a McDonald's breakfast as like a treat kind of thing. So I would hit the can, and the mall that we would go to started having a mixed bathroom, so there was men and women, which is super uncomfortable. But like, I just had McDonald's breakfast. I ruined a few people's shopping trip that day because it was horrific. And I'm like, mix that, bitches, and just left. So yeah, that was
mix that in your sinuses and carry it with you.
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? I turned that fucking place into a hazmat situation. Like,
destroying Alberta Commons bathroom is Dino's Christmas tradition.
Yeah, I did it. I used to do a bit where I'm like, has anyone ever clogged a toilet here? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, have you ever clogged a toilet at like a public place, like a mall? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, have you ever clogged a row of toilets? And everyone goes, what? And I'm like, guess that's just me then, is it? Pussies. Just,
Wait, you can't say that without telling the story. How do you clog multiple toilets?
Top tier effort, sir. Maximum effort. That's how you do that, okay? And a high protein diet.
I have a whole bunch of theories.
Go ahead.
Well, the worst one involves you doing too much in one and then trying to scoop it with your hands into another one. And
I'm a gentleman, sir. I have standards, okay? I'm not putting my hands in there. If anything,
it's organic.
We've all done that.
Straight from the ass.
No, we haven't.
Oh,
I just
sorry,
go,
me?
This is why other people are employed. I'm going to go. The hell with that.
Merry Christmas to one and all.
God bless us, everyone.
Except Dino, he ruins toilets. And that's a fact. Whatever.
Fucking Christ.
Caleb, please tell me you have a Christmas tradition that's not clogging the toilet.
All right, here's the deal, dude. I don't really have much in the way of like Christmas traditions. The closest one I could think is like either Christmas is when my dad like buys me another PlayStation to make up for the child support, or we go to my grandmother's house and we eat like this
she buys you a PlayStation
soup that like tastes like rainwater and carrot nightmares or whatever the fuck she puts in there.
That just sounds like, I don't know, putting a bunch of carrots in the shower head.
That's basically what she does. Is she'll like go outside like when it's still like heavy snowfall, and then just like scoop a pot and then throw a bunch of like carrots and vegetables in there, and then boil the snow water, and then that's what we eat. So that's probably why my skin is almost see-through right now. But
that's like some Amish sounding shit. That's like, we're freezing inside. We have to make the best of what.
Why would we pay for broth? There's plenty of it frozen out the door.
That's nature's broth.
That's right.
She's like, if you want this copy of Spider-Man 2, you're gonna have to suck it down this rainwater, dude.
I mean, Spider-Man 2 is pretty good.
Spider-Man 2 was so good, and it was worth it, and that's why I did it. But now I have anemia, so it's a problem. But
so much better than the first
and
one
hepatitis C.
Went to the sky. Sure. What the fuck was that?
Caleb, do you guys? I mean, what are your? I'm always curious what people's gift giving situation is. Like in my house, it's the core family, and we give a ton of gifts to each other.
Yeah.
Whatever we can think of. We don't really keep track of this or that, or you just kind of buy gifts for someone until you feel like you've got them enough. But then for other people who come over to the house, I actually have a fucking amazing story. So last year, we go to Christmas at my family's house. Me and my girlfriend, my brother, who's younger than I am, and his wife and his two kids. Okay. And my mother adores my girlfriend, adores her, and has I'll just say a different relationship with her daughter-in-law. So on Christmas, my mother gives my girlfriend no fewer than 37 presents.
What?
Just like present after present after present. And my girlfriend is the best present receiver. She's not even faking it. Everything she opens up, she's like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Blah, 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 blah. She then gives my sister-in-law one present. And it's like palpable, right? It is not by accident. It is not slipped under the radar. It might as well be like a fucking alarm going off like, I don't like you.
So if you're the daughter-in-law, you can't be like, "Where's the rest of them?" You can't, because then you're like Veruca Salt.
Correct.
Right?
However, so the epilogue to this story, or like the twist, right? The prestige to this story is that in past years, my brother's wife received many gifts, not maybe as many as my girlfriend got this year, but used to receive many gifts. But what she does is if she doesn't like the gift, she leaves it at the house when she goes home.
Oh, then no, she doesn't. She's done. That's it. No,
Yeah.
that's
And
totally
so
reasonable.
my
then.
mom was like, fuck all that noise. You get one present. Like, I'm not going to
100%.
like ice you out. You get one present. You want to leave it the fuck behind. Go for it.
Your mom's OG. That's fair. You know what? She's like, no. You know what? You want to disrespect my gifts? Ah, that's fine.
Right.
You get no gifts. That's
She
how that
sounds
works.
like a crazy person at first. Then you hear the reason and you're like, you know what? I can kind of get behind that.
Well, she sounds like someone who's murdered before, for sure.
Oh my God. Well,
yeah.
for sure she would help me murder if I needed it. Like 100%.
That's just a good mom. That's just
Yeah.
a good mom. Right?
So anyway, very long-winded. What's your guys' gift situation? How do you exchange? What do you? What's your routine?
Nothing. Like, yeah, I don't really give a shit about it. Like, I never felt that Christmas was important.
Yeah.
It's important for my wife and her family, but
Yeah.
they're so they always exchange gifts. But at this point, like, I do comedy for work. I'm like, I don't have any money. I'm poor as shit, and I have to stay this size, so that's not going to work for me, right? So I'm like, I can give you hand-me-down clothing, and it like turns into like a bed sheet. That could work, but aside from that, yeah, it's mostly like I try and focus on things like an anniversary or something
Okay.
like that. For
Do you
Christmas,
give
I'm like,
a gift to your wife on Christmas?
I ask her what she wants, and I say, okay, just send me a link to it, and I'll buy it. Or I'm like,
That-
here's money,
same.
just buy it. I'm
Same.
like, I'm not. I've had like I learned when we were dating that everything I bought her, even if it was what she wanted,
Yeah.
it wasn't right, and it was getting taken back, and it was going to cost me an extra $100. So I go, well, tell me what you want. Here's the money. Have fun. Enjoy it.
Okay, so you don't even get the thing, wrap it up, and hand it to her. Here you go on Christmas or Christmas Eve. No. Okay. Nothing of the
I
sort.
paid 3 goats and 1 camel. I don't have to wrap shit. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't bother with that. I've never really like. I was always good with, hey, I'll buy a fancy bag and that little tissue paper and put that here. That's how it's wrapped. Go to hell. I don't give a
Smart.
shit.
Yeah,
Like-
because like if it's something like tickets to something, like it's hard to just be like, here is an envelope. You know, like the bag with the tissue
I don't
paper
think you
just
should
looks
give an
better.
envelope that isn't filled with cash. Like you're a twat.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
'cause
I
if
don't know,
open
guys.
it-
You guys are fucking. I don't. This is bush league. You make a little treasure hunt for them to find the tickets in your house. You give them a little something to do. You need a little spectacle. You need a little bit of merriment. A little something to drag it out. We wait all year for this day, and you're just gonna go,
Hey, that's a girlfriend situation, guy. I'm married. I don't have to do any of that shit. Okay? Nobody's
in my-
going anywhere by law. Okay,
and
you
in
want to
my
get out of
case-
this? It's going to cost you. Nobody's
In my
getting
case,
that
my
fancy shit.
apartment's living room is piles of debris from my roommate. So no, I'm not doing that here until we move in together. It is like the fucking in Wall-E, like the piles of junk that he has in his little junkyard. It's
That'd make it even
All
better.
right, so you don't want her snooping around your apartment. Maybe she finds like a fucking buzzsaw blade somewhere or something you didn't know was there.
no, it's more like she'll find an In-N-Out sauce packet and a bundle of wires because of him, and yeah.
Who's him? Him's not Caleb, is it?
No. Him is my roommate who is outside that door and can't hear me. Thank God. But
Okay.
Oh, he can hear you, I'm sure.
maybe who knows?
He's drizzling more sauce on the wiring or whatever the hell
Oh,
is going
yeah.
on inside your house right now.
Recently, like post college, where I've been broke, I've tried to negotiate what I've referred to as a gift ceasefire, where with my sister in particular, where I go, "Hi, I love you, you love me. I don't need anything from you. I don't want to buy anything from you. Let's like shake on it." And then we shook on it, and then my mom talked her out of it, and she got me a present anyway. I'm like, "You fucking ruined it. Now I have to go get something."
Okay, so is your
Yeah,
sister particularly more well off financially than you?
Yes.
Just
very
let her
much
buy
so.
you a fucking present, man. Get her some fucking $5 pet rock and take the present. Like people
That's
like
what I ended up doing.
And what you do is make
Yeah.
her a card out of construction paper.
yeah, like
That's
I
how
have
you
someone-
really send that home. Yeah.
like I ended up having a decent career before a lot of my friends did, and I understand that things can be awkward, or my brother, but I would just be like, look, just take the present, guy. It's no big deal. Like, it makes me happy to do it. And I don't do it to make you feel bad. I just want to be able to spread the joy a little bit. My guess is your sister probably feels the same way.
I guess so, but it just bothered me that like I finally got her to agree to it, and then
without
her telling me that she was going. If she had told me before Christmas, "Hey, I want to renege," then it would give me time to go get it. But instead, I just got to Christmas morning. And
on the day that's annoying.
Yeah,
that's annoying. All right, I take it back.
Man.
Yeah. The gift ceasefire as a concept is very underrated, and I think more people should.
I had to do a ceasefire now with my family. I go kids only. I can't get presents for like literally every person in the family. So like once you have kids, like I'll buy you presents into your 20s, no big deal. Like it's hard out there, but like once you have kids, I'm not doubling up. Like once your kids are old enough to know what Christmas is, that's it. It shifts down a generation.
That's a smart idea.
We do the same. Where if you have kids, we'll get a couple gifts for your kids, but as soon as your kids become a little older where they want actually cool gifts, it's like, hey, now that's your problem. I'm not buying your kids shit. Fuck off. Like, that's your investment, not mine.
I asked my half brother what he wanted for Christmas, and he's like, the new Xbox. And I was like, okay, I think we need to have a conversation of how well off your
that's when you tell your dad and be like, hey dad, he wants a new Xbox, can you just write it's from me and just make that happen?
I think because he won't shut up about it. Part of me wants to just get him like a hand-me-down regular, like the original Xbox, and be like, you didn't specify.
Get him a Sega Genesis and just be like, this is how it really starts, son. Here you go. You know? Yeah. That's a full. Yeah. Get him an Atari. Be like, it's vintage. Fuck your life.
This is Sonic Adventure 2.
You can just gaslight him and tell him it's an Xbox, right? Like, I don't know what's wrong with you, kid. Get your
green tape and put an X on it. Be like, there you go.
He's
top of the line.
Stupid.
Exactly.
You'd be surprised how dumb kids are. Okay, real dumb.
I don't know. I was talking to him yesterday, and he was like, "You know how tall I am?" And I was like, "How tall are you?" He goes, "I'm 4'8". And I was like, "Well, you know, you're 9. You'll get taller." He's like, well, "There's a kid in my class who's 4'10". I want to be as tall as him. I'm like, literally, you will. Just hang around and
buy him high-heeled shoes.
What you need? Don't worry about your height. What you need to work on is this conversation's boring.
Yes, I should have said that. That would have been perfect. Fuck.
It's called stage presence, and we're gonna start a little workout. Okay.
It's called having a point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh my god.
So we have another Christmas tradition, which I kind of feel bad about, is that I can't be in the house with my parents that long. So I almost always go to the movies on Christmas.
Ooh, yeah,
that's smart.
And one of my favorite things to do is to walk up to the ticket counter and say, "I'm really sorry you have to work on Christmas, but I really needed to see 47 Roman today." Fuck, I fucked that up.
27 dresses.
It's like always the worst, like the worst movie I can think of. Like, I'm so sorry to work on Christmas, but I really needed to go to see Paddington 2.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Apparently,
for being
that's pretty
here for
good.
That.
Believe it or not, I don't know.
It's not. It's people who are just trying to hold on to their youth.
It's either that or they're memeing it, right? Where they're just like, "This is a meme, therefore it's good." Or
I used to work at the movie theater during Christmas time, bro. That shit was so bad. Especially because I was working. So when I was working at AMC, it was around the time that The Force Awakens came out, like the first of the new trilogy movies for Star Wars. Bro, I swear to God, like I have never been in a building that smells more like a sewage dump than like maybe a sewage dump or that movie theater, bro. There are too many people with like greasy Chewbacca costumes walking around, and like it was I couldn't tell like who what. Oh my god, dude, I just remember this other story. So speaking of the goddamn Force Awakens, around Christmas time at the movie theater, I remember it was like my second week working at the movie theater, and I was doing like the usher duty where you have to go around and be like the bitch boy that cleans up and stuff. And some lady brought like her flu-ridden child to come see the Star Wars movie on opening weekend. And I shit you not, her kid threw up 3 times in the auditorium, and they didn't tell anybody about it until after the show was over. Guess who had to fucking throw away an entire movie theater chair, bro? I didn't even know those things moved. Like you have to like unscrew like the little bolts as you're also like shoveling like the
You know what?
powder full of throw up and stuff.
This is a
dude.
lesson to
Hell
all young
no.
people, okay? All young people. When someone says, well, that's your job, you got to do it. You go, fuck you, you do it. Because you know what?
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. Someone has to
You don't
do it.
have to do
You
it.
don't. No, that's a manager's job. Sorry.
Yeah.
No. I'm not cleaning up some kid's vomit.
It
That's you.
kind of is the manager's job, but I contend that it's the fucking mother's job.
Well, yeah, but listen.
But she
should have
probably
been,
was
you know,
gone by now,
sterilized.
right? Like she just
Right,
ran
like
out of
That
the
kid
store.
one day is going to tell a story. He goes, have you ever thrown up on a movie chair?
Have you thrown
Have
up
you
a
ever
whole
thrown
row?
up on a whole row of movie chairs?
Yeah, I just need like 10 more years. I'm gonna start hitting up open mics, and I'm gonna find that little girl. I'm gonna find her, dude.
It's her poor. It's her, see that's okay. See, there's one reason I'm anti-kid like myself having them. I don't want to have kids. I see people like that, and like that woman shouldn't have children. Like if it's that important to you to go to the movies, that you have to bring your sick child to the movies. It's not for them.
Yeah, no.
That's for you.
Yeah,
you went to the
right.
movies for you because that kid should not be at the movies, and that's fucked up.
Listen, 100%. That was one of the big things. Like me and my wife are huge movie people. Like we love going to the movies. We had a movie themed wedding at an old like Art Deco theater. It was really cool. But that was on Boxing Day. We'll go really super early and we'll be done by like 10, 11 o'clock. We'll grab some food and then hit a movie theater, right? Because everyone else is shopping and everything is getting packed at that point. And so many times we would go just out of convenience. The movie theater at that mall didn't have like a VIP where you have like over 19 or
Sure.
you had selected seating. So it was just a regular theater. And every time some moron will come in and talk the entire time. And you're just like, you don't deserve a movie theater. You just go home. Like you don't deserve to be entertained. You should watch like water boil as your
Don't tell
entertainment.
me how to raise my kids.
Oh no, I'm going to tell you how to live your life because you're garbage. That's that's the advantage of being 6'2" and like 360 pounds is no one's going to be like, hey, you get out. I'm like, make me. Yeah, you and
The
your whole
lady's like,
security force.
I
That's
think
not going to
that was
happen.
a Proud Boy. I'm pretty sure that was a Proud Boy.
No, then I just throw on a Greek accent. I'm like, you talk to me like that? No,
Ah, there we go.
I am Greek. You don't
Very
talk.
good.
I create democracy, eh? And then it's easy.
That's fucking great.
And then they're hateful against immigrants. It's great. It's easy out.
I know for like going to see. Okay, so Joe, I did one of those seizure studies where they put the nodes on your head and measure your brain.
Sure. I'm gonna nod my head like I know. Yeah, that seizure study where they put the nodes on your head. Yeah,
There's
Or
some
just like
clockwork orange,
anytime
bro.
you've like seen in a hospital, the guy has the nodes when they're
it's
measuring.
like in Ghostbusters where they have the colander on Lewis's head.
Perfect.
Bingo.
Exactly. So I realized during my time in the hospital that my mom stresses me out. Like, and just
Like
she
you
came in-
literally saw the visual representation, like
Yeah.
when your mom would be like, okay,
yeah, like she came in to visit me, and I felt fine, but I looked over and the waves were going crazy.
5 doctors came running in with fucking a defibrillator. They're like, "What's going on in here?" Like, it's just my mom.
Just having a
just my
nice,
mom.
quaint visit.
Yeah. So I think I have that. I'm trying to like keep that balance of she wants to spend time with me. Both my parents live in LA, so I have to like see them fairly often. And whenever I go to my mom's, I'm trying to finagle it where I spend as little time as possible with her while still counting as time spent.
That's
she'll
what
be
Law and
like-
Order's for.
Oh, she doesn't have a TV. She
What?
My parents have TV on 24 hours a day.
she threw hers out during Watergate and just never really.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
strong lady.
Wow.
Yeah,
They were
she-
heavy back then.
Yeah, my mom.
That's a choice.
Yeah, definitely. My mom's like a Santa Monica hippie. But going over there, it's this thing where like I'll go over there. I'm like, hey, has anyone walked Thor yet? And she's like, no. You want to walk him? I'm like, yes. That counts as time spent where I'm not in the house with her.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Acts of service.
Yeah, acts
Yeah,
of service.
Or like changing light bulbs and stuff like that, where you just move back. Hey, that seemed crooked. Do you want me to hang that up properly? And just going and doing something in another room.
I
Definitely.
like rewriting down all their passwords and taping them to the wall again, and wondering where the last one went. The one I did last year. Where'd that one go? I did this last year. It was duct tape. Did it fall down? Why is it off the wall?
Yeah,
That's when.
it sucks because like I want to spend more time with my dad because he's got Parkinson's, and he's more fun to hang out with. Like, because he does this thing where with how his brain works, he'll do this thing where he'll say words that almost sound like the words he's trying to say, but it's not quite it. Like they'll either start with the same letter or they'll rhyme or something. Where,
Like the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, something like that, or something, or like you go over and he's like, "How's it going, Belinda's? I want to introduce you to the family Mike Could," and you're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And it's like, "Oh, this is my friend from this when I was in a band or something." That's not literally like a thing.
You get to have a little fun with it. When my grandma
Yeah.
had Alzheimer's, I tried to lean into it and just kind of, just sort of try to laugh off some of the ridiculous shit she would say, even though it's sad as fuck.
It is.
That's the reality of it. And the good news is you can understand them still, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's the hard part about like just getting older and stuff. You start to see those cracks in people at really weird times. Like I remember a few years ago, one of the guys that I work with who was like, he was crazy in that like he would always bring his lunch. He wouldn't drink, didn't smoke. He was at an active lifestyle, didn't gamble, didn't do anything. And then sure enough, he got liver cancer, 9 weeks, boom, dead. And it was like, what? I'm like, I'm a ticking time bomb. Like, realistically, I walk into a doctor's office and they're like, "Ooh, gonna make money today," So, but I'm like, yeah, even like literally, I was at the doctor today and there was like, "Wow, your blood pressure is great." Like, how is that? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I should be dead.
It's to the point where you show up to the doctors and they're just impressed that you walked in the door.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're calling 5 doctors into Dino's too, but for a different reason. They're all like, "Oh, can we get a blood sample?"
And
I'm
that's the
thinking
thing
like in The Simpsons when Mr. Burns goes for a checkup and he has like everything.
Yeah, 100% very like. Look, that's the thing is like right now. One of the things, Jojo, you wouldn't know this. During the pandemic, as you know, many people have gotten fat. Okay, no problem. I have relished in this because I've lost about 90 pounds through the whole pandemic. Right, but yeah, you could clap all you want. The problem is I'm still fat as fuck. So. This is the thing. It's like I've lost a prepubescent human or very large dog off my person, but I still
or one Joe Stapleton girlfriend. Give it up for the thigh gap. All
right. So, but that's the whole thing. Is like for me, I'm like, I walk in and people are like, "You're still fat." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. But I lost 90 pounds." And like, "Really? You were huge before." I'm like, "I really was," but whatever. So, it's the same.
Well,
you see
dope,
weird, yeah, but you see how little things like people just start failing health wise and stuff, and you're kind of going, "Oh shit, they're like 4 years older than me." You're like, "Oh damn it, I gotta clean up my act."
Yeah.
No more drugs, just less drugs. Let's go with that.
Fewer drugs,
maybe,
better
probably
grammar.
Not. Go fuck yourself, Joe.
You guys, we heard a little bit about Caleb's food tradition. Another thing, the soup. In my family, our big meal is on Christmas Eve, and the side of my family that I mostly grew up around is the Italian American side, the kind of people that like saying things like "gabagool," "Where the gabagool? Where the cannolis? Where's the gavadil?" So on Christmas Eve, my grandmother would make linguine with clam sauce, a white sauce, and then she would make cavatelli, which we pronounce as gavadil, with homemade meatballs. With the secret ingredient in Sicilian meatballs is raisins, which turns a lot of people off, and brajol, homemade brajol, which is a very thin steak, pounded out flat, and then you wrap it in cheese, like Parmesan cheese and a hard-boiled egg, and a little bit more raisins. And you tie it together with a string and you cook it in the sauce like that. And it comes out like this big, meaty egg ball. And so that was our traditional Christmas dinner, was have a bunch of fucking pasta. I got sauce on my shirt. Ma, I got sauce on my shirt. That was my Christmas Eve.
Sounds way better.
That last thing sounded so good until the raisins came back. I was like, oh, I can handle raisins in one thing, but two things? Too much.
She would make some of the brajol without the raisins because it does turn people off. But all I say is just try it. You don't like it, if you try it, it's fine. But don't let your preconceived notions about raisins change how you feel about the meatballs.
Yeah, I'll give them a try. Raisins get a bad rap just because of the whole chocolate chip thing.
Oh, right. Yeah, the disappointment factor.
Yeah, because
sure.
that's the work of the devil. Let's be honest, okay? Raisins are great as a snack, as raisins. They don't need to be included in other foods, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's
or
just
trail mix, but
sure, trail mix is just a whole, smorgasbord of different things. Fine, okay? But having to include them in real meals, you're like, no. This has gone too far, okay? Maybe an antipasto? Sure, have some raisins.
This
Why
is
not?
Italian-American slander right here. This is...
Hey, there should be more of it. Let's be honest. Everyone's sick and tired of Italians.
This is straight racism.
Okay? It's not
Dino's
racism, it's jingoist, but whatever.
Dino's personal hell after he dies is going to be literally just a repeating scenario where someone goes, "Here, try these cookies," and he thinks they're chocolate chips, but they have raisins in them. Like that's Sisyphus tale over and over.
100%. Like I love an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. I love it.
That is.
And when
stuff.
people are like oatmeal raisin, I'm like, what did I do to you? Did I hurt you? Just go to hell? Yeah, no, can't do it. That's the worst.
I didn't even come around to trail mix until recently because I realized that it's really just like white trash charcuterie in a bag, and I can get behind that messaging. So
yeah,
that's a
good way to look at it for sure.
Here's an appetizer.
One, yeah.
You guys ever? So you talked about the raisins to chocolate chips. Have you ever gotten root beer when you're expecting Dr. Pepper? That's almost just as bad, if not worse.
No,
it's basically.
I fucking love Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper is so good, but when you're expecting Dr. Pepper and you get root beer, it almost makes you want to commit homicide because it's like you just slurp down carbonated barbecue sauce when you're expecting something delicious. And it makes you so mad, dude. At least it made me.
Okay, I don't hate root beer by itself.
No, I don't hate root beer either.
Yeah.
But when it's unexpected, you kind of get frustrated.
Unexpected root beer.
You know?
I was gonna say it's first world problems, but it's not really. It's like a second world problem.
Oh yeah,
it's
they
not
got root
really
beer
a first.
everywhere, bro. If you can get root beer in Alabama, it's a second world problem.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's a fast food second world problem.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing is the thinking it's Coke, but it's Diet Coke. That's worse, I think.
That one sounds pretty rough too. I haven't had that one.
Well, because someone can go, "Here's a Coke," and you go, "Oh," and then you drink it, and they're like, "Ew, it's Diet." Like, yeah, I don't have regular Coke.
I have an issue with. I'm like the easiest customer ever to deal with, except for if I go to a soda fountain and it's weak on the sauce, it's weak on the the syrup, and then I'm like, "Get this shit out of my face! Where's my fucking soda?" That's what makes me so mad. I'll throw it in someone's face. I'll be like, "You think this is Mountain Dew? You think I fucking drove all the way over here for light green seltzer?"
You call this Baja Blast, motherfucker?
I will.
Dude, it's
I
the
will
worst in
stab
the
you.
freestyle machines. Those machines where you have 50 different sodas in them.
Yeah,
it's the worst in those, dude. Oh my god. Or especially I don't know if you want a cherry Coke out of one of those freestyle machines, but really it's just the most garbage cherry syrup they could just mix in with the normal shit.
Yeah, that one's not very good. I don't really like the extra syrup, whatever. I do like the touchscreen aspect of it because they'll have mellow yellow and shit in there that's not usually on the 6 things,
right?
I definitely hate, especially it's one of those things where when you realize this, you're like, I'm getting fat if I know that this Taco Bell is better than the one 2 miles down the road. Because the soda is stronger at this Taco Bell versus that Taco Bell.
Dino, is that somebody coming up to you to tell you that you're not supposed to have a green screen in the library?
No, to warn me about looking at porn and when in a public place. No, sorry, no, just had a family thing. Had to
I hope everything's okay now that I made a joke about it.
Sorry about that. My apologies.
It's okay.
We were talking about how it sucks when the soda fountain is weak on the sauce.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good God. Well, that's the problem with a soda fountain is that, number one, it's never cleaned enough. So that is an issue. And then on top of that is you have people going, hey, look, if you hold your cup up, it just overflows and goes right into the thing. And you're going, stop fucking doing that. Everything is sticky, you piece of shit. Right? It's not. But also, it is fun to watch someone freak out because they will, if you're in a fast food place, they will always throw a fountain drink, and it is hilarious because it goes everywhere. That is a fact.
Sorry,
Throw
what?
a fountain drink? What do you mean?
Like soda from a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they will throw. That is a fountain drink.
Yeah.
No, I know what a
Fountain.
fountain drink
No,
is.
no,
I
I'm
just
saying,
don't
what do
think
they
I've
throw
seen
it
people
at?
throw them as
Whoa!
often
When
as
they
you
freak
can.
out in one of those scenarios, they will throw it at people.
Oh,
They always. Nobody's gonna throw a burger. They'll throw fries or a fountain drink every time. And it's
I've
always
seen
at the
someone
same
throw. I've seen someone throw a piece of shit at a Tim Hortons one time.
Oh.
There was a video a while ago where a lady shit in the Tim Hortons because they wouldn't let her use the bathroom. But apparently she had tried to use the bathroom before and had made a whole mess of it, so she was banned from it.
Yeah, I think we're talking about the same video.
I think
Dino,
so.
you have a theme. You've got a real thread through this podcast. People just abusing public bathrooms.
I'm a trendsetter, Joe. I'm a trendsetter. That's what can I say.
A trend sitter, really.
I have bad aim. I sit down. It's not my
At
fault.
the trend shitter.
there was one time in my high school where there was the teacher that was like, no one's using the bathroom during my class. You guys sit and learn. It's only an hour. Like, there's always one teacher like that. And this girl had to pee so badly that she was like, can I use the bathroom? He's like, what did I fucking say? No one to use the bathroom. So she stood up and calmly pissed her pants while keeping intense eye contact with him.
That is, listen.
And then he let people use the bathroom after that.
Going to the bathroom with intense eye contact with somebody is definitely a power move.
Oh,
It's just, you know.
Definitely.
My cat, every time. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Why are you looking at me? And he's just like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know that one of my half siblings, I won't say which one, like when they would shit themselves when they were little, would just like fucking stare into your soul. You're like, okay, cool. Now I have to wipe your ass. Thanks, I guess.
That's why God invented the hose. I'll take it outside. No problem.
I just wonder what that manifests as later in life, right? Maybe
Oh,
nothing,
yeah.
but maybe something.
Murder. Definitely murder. And like not like rampant, but there wasn't a time. There was a time. I feel like that's, you know.
Yeah, that's like an I know what you did last summer murder. That's not like Ted Bundy. That's you get one off and that's kind of it.
But you don't feel much about it.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's the idea of hitchhikers and all that. That's
Right, you didn't do
you don't
it
do
on
something close to
purpose.
home. That's how you get caught. Come on, everybody knows that.
Yeah, bury him in the woods. Don't think about it. And then when you're like 80-something on your deathbed, be like, I killed a man when I was 25.
You know, there's a story about that where a guy confessed to a murder from years ago that was unsolved, and then he survived. 'Cause, like, he thought he was on his deathbed, but he survived. So then they tried to charge him, and he's like, "No, I was lying." They're like, "We literally found all the evidence because you said so."
I think I remember that story. This was like 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Who knows when anything was anymore?
There's such a mess with regards to history at this point where it's like, oh, and now we have aliens, and everyone's like, okay. You're like, wait a minute, we were all supposed to freak out about this whole business. Now I'm like, who knows what's true anymore?
Yeah, it's like the telephone game, you know?
Yeah.
Just
As far as you guys know, I'm a fat guy from Canada.
throughout all
Well,
the
I think
time.
they're gonna gaslight us and be like, "No, we've said there's aliens all along." Like, clearly, we've never.
That would be a power move. That's like, you know, Biden shits his pants while we're looking. We always knew. We told you. You weren't listening. You know,
We said we fucking said it.
Yeah.
I know they're already trying to be like the January 6th was false flag attack. I'm like, we have it on video from multiple angles. Like it's kind of hard to do it with something like that versus like, I don't know, the Kennedy assassination. You got one of them and it's grainy as fuck. The other is like HD, multiple people filming. It's kind of hard to do it with.
We have like an Instagram live of a dude like, well, who was
See, I
it?
look at it
like, I'm gonna hang the vice president.
See, you look at it as there's insurmountable evidence, therefore we are right. And I look at it as there's insurmountable evidence, therefore we should just never argue with these people ever because it won't matter how much evidence there is. They will never be convinced. So just fucking save your breath.
The whole thing was a ploy just to sniff AOC's chair anyway. We all know that.
I mean, I could be
And
down
then the
for
one
that.
guy going in there for Nancy Pelosi's chair, but he doesn't want to say.
Yeah, he's too ashamed to admit it, but really he just...
It's like, yeah, AOC, I'll just be over here. Cool, all right.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, go get it. I'll catch up. Oh, that's
I like it when
horrific.
conservatives try to pretend that AOC isn't hot, and I'm like, you would fuck her so fast. You would be
Yeah.
you would be head over heels in love with that girl if she paid you 1 second of attention. Shut up.
Bro, you would get a Karl Marx tattoo if she let you get a taste of that. Don't even bullshit
Absolutely.
yourself, bro.
Don't front.
Oh my god. Okay, now is the Karl Marx tattoo just his head? Is it his whole body? Is he doing something?
Does he
It's
have
whatever
a
you
body?
want,
I
bro.
feel like I've only ever seen a head.
Yeah.
No, isn't Karl Marx the one
Probably.
with the beard? So he's like sitting
Yeah.
in a chair
He's got
from
a
the
big old
side with
beard.
the. Yeah. It has to be him sitting in the chair. I think that's
Yeah.
a fair. You know,
I like
I
the
don't
idea
full
of
body,
doing,
full
like,
commitment.
Karl Marx as a pinup girl. I like that a whole lot.
I'm thinking the thing from Seinfeld where George is on the couch and he's like half naked, but with Karl Marx.
Either that or it's like a sexy Karl Marx and then it just has like a tagline that just like separate the means of making babies.
Yeah.
And then
Sees the means
sees
of
the
production.
means of producing children. And then
Sees the
I-
means of
I
production
enter
by
here.
fleshlight.
right
not
here.
That
Human
image
production.
is now in my mind because I see Borat in the slingshot
Oh.
speedo,
Yeah.
but Karl Marx's head going, "Hello," I'm going, "Get out of my head!" It's not good. It's not
My proletariat.
It's horrible, and will live on in my memory forever. Thank you, everyone.
Oh my god. All right.
Really appreciate it.
Joe and Caleb, just want to ask both of you, what is the weirdest set you've had as a comedian? Good or bad?
Caleb, do you have one in the pipeline here? I could use a second to think. If you know
Yeah,
which
I
you're
got
gonna
one
say.
here. Let's see. So I've got two. One of them was my first festival show I ever did. I had a whopping 2 minutes and 30 seconds on stage. It was the first time my mom and my grandparents had ever come to watch me do stand up. And I remember I told a story about my mom accidentally walking in on me having sex one time, but she didn't know about it because of the way that my room is oriented. And so, like, I was like 3 pumps in, and then as soon as she opened the door and yelled out to me, I got so scared that I came immediately.
I don't think that's how fear works.
I told that story on
Is
stage.
right there. That's like shooting in the eyes of the predator and running away.
It was like you go 1, 2, 3, and then you hear Caleb, and I go ah.
Please tell me that's not the sound you make when you come.
It was
What,
that.
that time?
It was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time, 100% believable. 100% believable. That's every time is like that.
And then the other time was at a children's birthday party, and I got heckled by the magician. That's
I'm doing real magic for these kids, motherfucker.
Yeah, these are just words.
It's like, oh, you don't even have anything that you can make smaller and then bigger again.
Yeah. Where are
Shut
your
up,
balloons,
Dennis. I know
Caleb?
you just came out from freaking Popeyes like 3 hours ago.
What was the actual
Hate your
heckle?
ass. The heckle was like, I think I was doing some bit about like pizza or something. It was basically like he was just like kind of pipe it in. Like once in a while he was like, I'm helping. And it's like, no, you're not, dude. But I was like doing like some bit about like pizza or some shit. And he's like, oh, that's hot. That's hot.
That's gold, Harry,
Damn.
gold.
I'm gonna shove your fucking magic wand in your ass, and I'm gonna make it grow 3 sizes if you don't shut the hell up, Dennis. I hate you so much. And then I got paid like $10 for that set, so it's like whatever. Fuck
His
you,
name
guy.
was Dennis the Magician because that hurts.
I actually think it was like Chad or something. One of those.
Chad the
I can't remember.
magician.
I swear to God.
Chad.
He
Maybe
had like
Chet.
a little like
Chet's
case
the
with his
magician.
face on it. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
It's definitely some kind of cha move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a Karl Marx tattoo.
He has a Karl Marx tattoo. He has an AOC
Charles
OnlyFans,
Marx.
like fan page. He's got like a compilation of like feet pics.
Oh,
100%.
It's realistically,
He's
it's
the
his
guy who's
Halloween
messaging
costume.
me.
He's the guy who won't leave you alone, Atlas.
That's his Halloween costume. Is a
He's
Karl
trying
Marx
so
mask
hard
and
to like
or a
extract a
Speedo.
mold of like AOC's vagina and print on her chair so we can make a fleshlight. You know what I mean? He was you know where he was on January 6th.
Oh yeah, definitely. Joe.
mixing
For my next trick, I'm
an
gonna make
epoxy,
AOC's pen
chasing behind the crowd, going, "I'm coming, guys! It's almost ready! It's almost ready!"
And then he vanished.
With all his tricks,
I'm gonna die.
like he was never there.
Joe,
I've had a bunch. I think everyone's gone through this, right? A bunch of weird sets where you go to a place and you're just like in an upstairs room in a bar and there's no mic and there's no light and you just like talk to people. I don't know if you guys have, that seems pretty common. So the weirdest one I had was I was hired as a group of comedians to do comedy for. This was in London. I got my start doing comedy in London, and for an office Christmas party. Except the office Christmas party was taking place in the office, and it was noon. So it was a daylight office Christmas party in like their cafeteria.
Dry?
I'm not a super edgy comic, but in my early days, I was quite edgy because I just thought that's what you were supposed to do as a comedian, was just like, white knuckle it the whole time. And let me just say, it did not go over well. It did not go over well at all. I felt really bad for like the girl who like sold them on the comedy, because the absolute worst part is, I'm so sorry if you guys do this, but the act that led into me was like an improvised duo, like two people doing characters. And every time I'm on a lineup and I'm like, oh man, this is like the two improvised twins going on before me, I'm like, fuck this, man. Like, this is the worst lead-in ever, because it never plays. It never, ever, ever plays.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can have a show of that, but you have to go in. But if you do that as comedy, no. People have to know that going in, because that's what they expect, right?
It's just like polite laughter when someone's doing like a character up there. You're like, no, just don't. Like, this isn't that kind of show. Just tell jokes.
Yeah. And then also, like, comedy just works better in darkness. Like, dark, cold, low ceilings, everyone's packed in. But, like, something about telling a dick joke while it's bright and cheery outside just kind of ruins the moment, I imagine.
True.
That's what sucks about doing, like, these, like, brewery shows in Denver and stuff, is because, like, everywhere is all, like, twinkle lights and, like, like, signature, like, I gentrified this building decor, Yeah. So, yeah, it's all just, like,
that guy's two hands.
Lights and,
my God.
No. There's a huge movement of a lot of brewery shows and everything. It's just, there's really tall ceilings because it's an industrial building, right? And you're like, so they have lights but no spotlight, and you're like, that's not going to work. You need that differentiation just to focus on the thing. Correct. Yeah, and then you have two guys who are like, we had a great time. You're like, you weren't here to entertain yourself. You were there to entertain others. You dick. And that's Oh man. Fantastic.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for coming on Generation Dan. Where can people find you and follow you and all that good stuff?
You can follow me at Stapes on Twitter, at InstaStapes on Instagram. I also launched my own cryptocurrency recently.
Are you fucking serious?
If you guys want to buy some Stapes coin, you can do that on rally.io. And the good thing about Stapes coin is that it is not an investment. You are supporting me as an artist. However, when Stapes coin rises, we all get paid out dividends, regardless, based on how much of the total number of Stapes coin you own. So the Stapes coin owners collectively have made $36,000 since I have launched it in not in Stapes coin rising, but in Rally rewards. So the site that we sell Stapes coin on is kind of like like an exchange, rally.io. And so Rally coin pays out dividends to all of the owners of a particular coin if it's doing well. So, and that I am both legally and ethically allowed to tell people those rewards have paid off handsomely in the month or two that Stapes coin has been a thing. So, anybody wants to know more about any of that or anything else, I am at Stapes on Twitter is probably the best way to get a hold of me. Thank you for having me. This is very fun.
Yeah, no problem. That's the first time that one of our guests is like, I got a fucking cryptocurrency.
You guys are moving up.
Yeah,
you're making it.
He's like, I am that much better than you guys. It's like, well, at least we
Dino,
know.
you should start one. Dino coin or Jeanette
I
coin.
feel like the history I have in as a financial planner would definitely serve me in that fashion, but at the same time, like, I haven't worn a suit in a long time, man. I don't look trustworthy in a t-shirt. Like, I had to like have a 3-piece suit with like cufflinks and like everything had a monogram on it just so I could be allowed to work in the public in finance. So it's a lot of work. I don't know.
Makes sense. You can find the show at Generation Dan on Twitter. You can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter or Instagram, or you can check out my other show at Nexus at Nights in the same places. It's about a card game called Vanguard. If you're not a TCG fan, completely understandable. Caleb, where can people find you?
Well, I'm pretty invisible when it comes to the internet sphere, but on occasion when I am active, you can find me on Twitter, Caleb C. Mcduff. You can find me on Instagram, Caleb M. Comedy. You can find me on Facebook, Caleb McDuff. YouTube, Depression Mode. That channel is still kind of a work in progress, but that'll be up soon. That's where I'm at.
Great fucking
Nice.
name.
Oh, it is a great name. And I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel. I'm all over the place on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, also on the Eargasm Network. I'm doing a bunch of shows. Idiot Says What on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time is live. And as well, Sports Balls, which is Sundays at 9 p.m. as well, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Eargasm Network. And it's live on Facebook and on YouTube. So check those out as well. And all sorts of other fun and exciting shows. And here, Generation Dan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the pretty one.
He is the pretty one. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.